Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today it is October 26th, 2022. It's sunny outside. It's on Wednesday today. Individual will should be respected. Individual will should be respected. Public opinion should be reflected in the politics. Public opinions should be respected. The Cram School specializes in individual attention. The Cram School pay attention to individual attention. The Cram School focuses on individual attention. Everyone's creativity should be respected. I think by challenging something new, our creativity will increase. Traveling also might increase our creativity. I think creativity will increase in a hard situation. With the advancement of technology, more and more diseases will be disposed of. Some people cannot keep up with the new technologies. I hope I am contributing to the society. Are you good at management of the company or group? I am very bad at the management of a group. Since the management of the new CEO, the company has been good. The company has been going well. The fighter has some advantages over the opponent regarding the weight, the length of the reach, and so on. You should take advantage of your advantage. There are many advantages in big companies. Big companies have some advantages over small and medium-sized companies, such as the efficiency, the number of employees, and the profits, and so on. Could you tell me some of the advantages if we hire you? Could you tell me some advantages we can get if we hire you? Could you tell me some advantages from you if we hire you? If we hire you. Could you tell me some of the advantages we can get from you if we hire you? If we hire you. If we hire you. If we hire you. I'd like to take advantage of my qualifications I got with a lot of study. I'd like to take advantage of my qualifications, which I had struck. I had difficulty. I struggled a lot to get it. I'd like to take advantage of the qualifications. I had trouble getting it. I had trouble getting it. I had trouble getting. I had difficulty getting. I'd like to take advantage of some of the qualifications I had difficulty getting. I had difficulty getting. I had trouble getting. I had difficulty getting. The terms will be advantageous to you. The executives are told to sign a contract which is advantageous to us, to them. The executives are told to sign a contract which is advantageous to them, to us. Advantageous, 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 advantageous. 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 Is the terms advantageous to you? The examination might work. Being advantageous to those who had studied 1 year longer by failing the examination in the previous year. The examination might work being advantageous to those who had failed once and tried again, because they could study 1 year longer than those who take for the first time. The examinations will work, being advantageous to those who studied 1 year longer by failing the previous year than those who take it for the first time. The contract was not advantageous to me at all, but I took on that, but I undertook that to have the experience. The contract was not advantageous to me at all, but I took on that. I took that on to have the experience. The contract was not advantageous to me at all, but I undertook it to have the experience. If you wait for the contract which is advantageous to you, it might not come again. It might not come forever. We have to make a compromise to some extent, to a certain extent, to some degrees. The condition is perfectly disadvantage. I overcame some of my disadvantages by studying so hard, by working so hard. We tend to try to overcome disadvantages by working so hard. We tend to try to overcome disadvantages by working hard. We tend to try to overcome disadvantages by working hard. We tend to try to overcome disadvantages by working hard. We are inclined to try to overcome and get over disadvantages by working hard. We are apt to try to overcome disadvantages by working hard. Disadvantage, 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 disadvantage. Disadvantage, disadvantage. I don't want disadvantage. No one wants 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 disadvantage. Disadvantage. I overcame many disadvantages by working hard. I overcame disadvantages regarding the amount of study by working so hard, by studying so hard. I've overcome disadvantages by working so hard. Disadvantage. We can overcome disadvantage by working so hard, and we can also go beyond them. The disadvantage to the champion was nothing. He could beat the opponent so easily. The dropping yen will be advantageous to exporting companies and importing companies. The dropping yen will be advantageous to importing companies. Dropping yen will be disadvantageous to importing companies in Japan. Disadvantageous, 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 disadvantageous. Disadvantageous, disadvantageous. Disadvantageous. The terms is apparently disadvantageous to us. The contract is apparently, clearly, evidently disadvantageous to us. The contract is apparently disadvantageous to us. The contract is apparently disadvantageous to us. Disadvantageous, 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 disadvantageous to us. Disadvantageous to. Disadvantageous, disadvantageous, disadvantageous to. The contract is apparently disadvantageous to us. The contract is apparently disadvantageous to us. Disadvantageous. The contract is apparently, clearly, obviously, disadvantageous, disadvantageous to us. The examination is advantageous to those who haven't graduated from the school. One of the features of Japanese-style houses is to take off our shoes before stepping into the inside. One of the features in Japan is that we take off our shoes before stepping into. I heard of the news from the feature article. Every press brought up the news at the feature article. Every press brought up the accident at the feature article. Every press in the world brought up the news at the feature article. 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 Feature. Feature article. feature article. I've heard. I read the news at the feature article. I read the news at the feature article. I read the news at the feature article. I read the news. Read. I read the news. I read the news. I read the news at the feature article. 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 The TV program was featuring the restaurant specialized in Japanese food. The media sometimes feature the singer who passed away a few years ago. Some media sometimes feature artists after their death. Some media feature some artists who were very famous in the past. The library features many collections of books regarding the universe. The amusement park features roller coasters. The amusement park features roller coasters, some of which have been registered as a World Guinness Record. The amusement park features roller coasters, some of which have been registered as a World Guinness Record. Mount Fuji features Japan. Sushi features Japan. Tatami mat features Japan. The restaurant features 1 kilogram of steak. The restaurant features rice balls in the shape of mountain. The restaurant features curry rice in the shape of dam. The restaurant features sub-menu in the shape of anime characters. Some media sometimes feature artists who were very famous in the past and still have big popularity. Some of the media sometimes feature the artists who were and who even now very popular. The amusement park features roller coasters, which are very fast. The restaurant features very unique menus in the shape of anime characters. The restaurant features menus with very unique shapes. The university has many resources for study. The university has many resources for study. So the students can learn in a very good environment. There are many resources for studying in the university, so the students have the best environment for study. Some countries have plenty of resources, while others don't. Some countries have many natural resources, while others don't. Natural resources. Some countries have abundant natural resources, while others don't. Natural resources. There are many resources for the study in the university, so the students can study, can learn in a good environment. There are many resources for the study, so the students in the university can learn in a good environment. Some countries have rich in natural resources, while others don't. Some countries are rich in natural resources. Some countries are abundant in natural resources. Some countries are rich in natural resources, while others don't. I try to make a resourceful decision. I try to make a resourceful decision. If I had a resourceful decision at that time, I wouldn't be like now. If I had made a resourceful decision, I wouldn't be like now. If I had made a resourceful decision, if I had made a resourceful decision, If I had resourceful decision, if I had made a resourceful decision, if I had made a resourceful decision, if I had made a resourceful decision, I wouldn't like me. I wouldn't be like now. I wouldn't be like now. The CEO's resourceful dealing with the problem was acclaimed by the employees. The resourceful answer from the student took the teacher by surprise. My resourceful answer surprised my teacher. My resourceful answer to the teacher surprised the teacher. My resourceful answer to the question took all the students by surprise because everybody predicted that I couldn't answer the question. My resourceful answer to the question took all of the students by surprise because everybody predicted that I wouldn't be able to answer the question. Because everybody predicted that I wouldn't be able to. Because everybody predicted that I wouldn't be able to answer the question. Because everybody predicted that I wouldn't be able to answer the question. Resourceful. 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 My resourceful answer to the question took all of the students by surprise, because everybody predicted that I wouldn't be able to answer the question. Resourceful. The scientist fled the country because he couldn't live in harmony with others. Are you good at living in harmony with others? No, I am not good at living in harmony with others. I prefer to do my duty on my own. But it's okay sometimes to meet someone for meeting and so on. Harmony. In Japan, harmony is very emphasized, and harmony is very important. I'm not good at working in harmony with others. Harmony. We are living in harmony with nature. We've been living in harmony with the nature. We've been living in harmony with nature. We have been living in harmony with nature. We have been living in harmony with nature. We've been living with harmony, in harmony with nature. we've been living in harmony with nature. I'd like to utilize my qualifications, which I had struggled with. I had trouble in getting. I had difficulty in getting. I'd like to utilize the qualifications I really had difficulty in getting. I really had trouble in getting. I'd like to utilize the qualifications I had difficulty in getting. I had difficulty in getting. I had trouble in getting. I had difficulty in getting. I'd like to utilize the qualifications I really had difficulty in getting. I'd like to make use of the qualifications I really had difficulty in getting. I'd like to make use of the qualifications I really had difficulty in getting. I really had trouble in getting. Utilization of the renewable energy will be more accelerated for the environment. Utilization of renewable energy such as sun, wind power, tidal wave, and so on will be accelerated. The utilization of renewable energy such as solar power, geological power, tidal wave power, and so on will be accelerated. The utilization of renewable energy such as sun, tidal wave, wind, and so on will be accelerated. Utilization utilization utilization. The utilization of the leftovers for the fertilizer. Might be a good idea. The utilization of the leftovers for the fertilizer for the plants might be a good idea. I put forward my idea of the utilization of the annex vacant lot and the parking lot. I suggested my plan that turning the vacant lot into the parking lot. I suggested my plan that turning the vacant lot into the parking lot. The utilization of the vacant lot for employees' parking lot might be a good idea. The utilization of the vacant lot for exercise might be a good idea. Utilization. The utilization of the vacant lot for something other purposes for the company might be a good idea. Utilization, 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 utilization. Utilization, utilization. The utilization of the leftovers for the fertilizer of the plants might be a good idea. I've devoted much of my precious time to getting the qualification, so I'd like to make use of the qualifications I really had difficulty getting. I really had trouble in getting. The baseball player devoted his profession to the baseball player devoted himself to the career until when he became 46, which surprised many fans. I have devoted much of my time to English study. Have you ever devoted much of your time to something? Have you ever devoted much of your time, like 20 years or 10 years, to something? If you cannot devote much of your time to something, which means you haven't found something you are really into. If you cannot find something you can devote much of your time to, which means you haven't found something you can really into. In your life, if there is nothing which you've devoted much of your time to, which means you haven't found your passion yet. If there is nothing which you could devote much of your time to, which means you haven't found something you are really into, you are really interested in. If there is nothing you could devote much of your time to, which means you haven't found the profession or something you are really into, you are really interested in. If there is nothing you could devote much of your time to, which means you haven't found something you are really into, you haven't found you are really interested in. Have you ever been to Nikko? Nikko is famous for the shrine, which is dedicated to Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of the Tokugawa shogunate. Have you ever been to Toshogu Shrine? This shrine is dedicated to Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of the Tokugawa shogunate. The human resources is looking for candidates who are very devoted. Are you devoted? Or easy to change? Are you devoted or distracted? If you are working on something you are not interested in, you cannot be devoted, I think. If you are working on something you are not interested in, it will be difficult to focus on that. It will be difficult to be devoted. It will be difficult to be devoted. 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 I cannot be devoted to something I'm not interested in. I cannot be devoted to something I'm not interested in. I cannot be devoted to something I don't have the interest in. I cannot be devoted to something I don't have the interest in. I cannot be devoted to something I don't have the interest in. Devoted. Are you devoted or distracted? Are you devoted at work? Are you devoted at the work? Are you devoted at work? Devoted. Are you devoted? Are you devoted at work? Are you devoted? Are you devoted at work? Are you devoted? Devoted. Are you devoted? Are you devoted? Are you devoted? Are you devoted or distracted? Devoted, devoted, devoted. I cannot be devoted to something I don't have the interest in. I cannot be devoted to... I cannot devote myself to something I don't have the interest in. I cannot devote myself to... I cannot be devoted to something I am not interested in. Devoted, 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 devoted. Are you devoted at the workplace? Some employees pretend to be devoted in front of the bosses. Some employees make believe they are devoted in boss's presence, in boss's presence, in boss's presence, in boss's presence, in boss's presence. And some employees make believe they are working hard and they are devoted in boss's presence. Some employees pretend to be devoted in boss's presence, in boss's presence, in boss's presence. Some employees pretend to be devoted in boss's presence, in front of the boss, in boss's presence. Some employees make believe they are devoted in front of the boss. Some employees make believe that they are devoted in boss's presence. Devotion. My devotion to English is clear by looking at the amount of my study and the hours of my study and the accomplishment of my study. My devotion to English study is obvious by looking at my hours of study, my long hours of study, and the amount of my study and accomplishments and qualifications I got. Devotion. Devotion. My devotion to English study is so huge, large. Devotion. Mother's devotion to their children must be so huge. Mother's devotion to their children will be so huge. Devotion, 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 devotion. 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 If you are really interested in the field, your devotion to that must be so huge. Your devotion to something will be clear by how long you can continue. How long you can continue. Your devotion to something will be clear, will be made clear by the length of that. The devotion to something will be made clear, will be made to clear, will be made to be clear by how long you can continue. The devotion to something will be made to be clear by how long you can continue. If you are really interested in that, you can continue so long. Devotion, 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 devotion. My devotion to English study is so strong because it's still continuing, it's still keeping, it's still lasting. Because it has been lasting. Because it has been lasting since I was 12 or 11. My devotion to English study is so strong because it has been still lasting. It has been lasting since when I was 11 or 12. The YouTuber has been gaining popularity since the advertisement by the TV. The YouTuber has been gaining the number of subscribers gradually. The YouTuber has been gaining the number of subscribers gradually. The YouTuber has been gaining the number of subscribers. The YouTuber has been gaining the subscribers gradually. The YouTuber has been gaining popularity. The YouTuber has been gaining subscribers. The YouTuber has been gaining subscribers. The YouTuber has been gaining subscribers. It sounds weird, but I don't know how to get fat, how to gain fat. It might sound weird for you, but I don't know how to get fat, how to obtain fat, how to gain fat. I never gain fat. This is my body system. I never get fat. I never gain fat. Do you know how to gain fat? It might sound weird. It might sound weird for you. But I actually don't know how to gain fat. I eat enough, but I don't gain fat. I never gain fat. The more you have the experience, the more knowledge you will gain. The more you study, the more knowledge you will gain. The pharmaceutical companies gained during the pandemic. The supermarket gained during the pandemic because many people rushed to buy the masks. Many people rushed to buy the masks. The number of subscribers has been gaining. The number of subscribers has been gaining. The number of subscribers of the YouTuber has been gaining. How can I gain as much as you? How can I gain as much as the entrepreneur? How can I gain as much as the entrepreneur? After gaining, the immigrant went home, went back to native country, went back to home country. After gaining enough, the immigrant went back to home country. The demand for engineering has been gaining. The demand for programmers has been gaining. The demand for electric vehicle has been gaining. The demand for EV has been will gain in the future. I guess the demand for EV electric vehicle will gain. Some industries must have gained a lot during the pandemic, while others didn't. The criminals gained by deceiving people. The criminals gained by deceiving ordinary people. The criminals earned a lot of money by deceiving old couples. The criminals gained a lot by deceiving old couples, elderly people. The criminals gained a lot by deceiving the old couples, especially. The criminal gained a lot by deceiving people in the world. The criminal gained by fraudulent scheme. The store gained a lot by selling masks. The store gained a lot by selling masks. His popularity has been gaining. The commodity prices have been gaining. The commodity prices have been gaining since half a year ago. The commodity prices have been gaining since half a year ago. How can I gain as much as you? How can I gain as much as the entrepreneur? How can I gain as much as the millionaire? How can I gain as much as a billionaire? Is it possible to gain? Is it possible for me to gain as much as the millionaire? Is it possible for me to gain as much as the billionaire? The demand for engineering has been gaining. The demand for English skill has been gaining in Japan. The demand for English skill. The demand for English skill has been gaining in many companies. The demand for English skill. 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 The demand for English skill has been increasing, has been gaining in many companies. The company gained a lot by selling small gadgets. The company gained a lot by selling second-hand goods. The company gained a lot by selling second-hand goods for reasonable prices. The company gained a lot by selling second-hand goods for reasonable prices. The speed of innovation has been gaining. The demand for engineering has been gaining. The number of foreign tourists has been gaining after the lift of the border measures. The number of foreign tourists has been gaining since the lift of the border measures. The number of foreign tourists into the country has been gaining since the lift of the border measures. The gain of the customers into the restaurant is attributed to the advertisement by the famous celebrity. The gain of the customers into the restaurant is ascribed to the advertisement by the TV. With more effort and study, your knowledge will gain. If you study more, your knowledge will gain. The company gained a lot by selling second-hand goods for reasonable prices. The company gained a lot by selling second-hand goods for reasonable prices. The company gained a lot by selling second-hand goods for reasonable prices. The number of tourists gained a lot since after the lift of the border measures. The number of foreign tourists has been gaining since the lift of the border measures. The number of foreign tourists has been gaining since the lift of the border measures. The number of foreign tourists has been gaining since the lift of the border measures. The number of foreign tourists has been gaining since the lift of the border measures. The a lot of gain of the company is attributed to the invention by the researcher. The gain of the company is attributed to the dropped yen. The a lot of gain of the company is ascribed to the dropped yen because many products were sold and exported. Eating a lot will contribute to the weight gain. Eating a lot will contribute to weight gain. Eating a lot will contribute to weight gain, weight increase, weight rise, weight gain. Eating a lot will contribute to 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 weight gain. The weight gain is due to a lot of eating and some other reasons. The a lot of gain of the company is attributed to the dropped yen, because many products were exported to foreign countries. The a lot of gain of the company is ascribed to the dropped yen, and so many products were sold to the foreign countries. The weight gain is allowed to 7 km after the measure, after the weigh. The weight gain is allowed up to 7 kilograms after the weigh in. The both boxers are allowed to gain weight up to 7 kilograms after the weigh in. And both boxers are allowed to gain up to 7 kilograms after the weigh in. Both boxers are allowed to gain gain weight up to 7 kilograms after the weigh in. To my best knowledge, there used to be a post office in front of the convenience store. To my best knowledge, Mount Fuji is the highest mountain in Japan, with a height of 3,776 meters. To my best knowledge, the height of Tokyo Skytree is 634 meters. When it comes to computer, he is very knowledgeable. When it comes to video games, he is very knowledgeable. When it comes to video games, he is very knowledgeable. He is very knowledgeable. 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 When it comes to video games, he is very knowledgeable. 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 Knowledgeable about video games. He is knowledgeable about video games. But when it comes to study, he knows nothing. Knowledgeable, 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 knowledgeable. Are you knowledgeable about geography? Are you knowledgeable about Japanese geography? Are you knowledgeable about Japanese geography? Are you knowledgeable about Japanese geography? Knowledgeable. Are you knowledgeable about the geography? The tour guide is very knowledgeable about the geography in the town. The tour guide is very knowledgeable about the geography in the area. Knowledgeable. 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 The professor is very knowledgeable about the field. The professor is knowledgeable about his field. The professor is very knowledgeable about his field. Some of the systems will be integrated for convenience. The neighboring vacant lot was integrated into the parking lot. The fence I used to separate the left side of the parking lot from the right side of the parking lot, but they were integrated now. The two parking lots were separated by the fence, but they were integrated now. They have been integrated. The two parking lots used to be separated from each other by the fence, but they have been integrated now. They have been integrated. A series of reforms in Meiji era integrated some class systems. The two parking lots used to have separated. The two parking lots used to be separated by the fence, but they have been integrated. The two companies might integrate in the future to be competitive with others. The two big companies might integrate to be competitive with foreign companies in the future. It is said that oil and water will not come together, will not integrate. It is said that oil and water will not come together and integrate. 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 It is said that oil and water will not integrate. My opinions will never integrate with yours. The Western and Eastern cuisine integrated. The chef integrated Western and Eastern cuisines. The musician integrated Western and Eastern music, traditional folk music. The two associations might be integrated. The two associations might integrate anytime soon. Six associations integrated. Six associations integrated in order to make the right of the society, the association, bigger. Two associations integrated with a view to making the right bigger. With a view to making the right bigger. The two associations integrated in order to create the headquarters of the association and to claim to the ministry on behalf of the associations. Six associations integrated to become the headquarters and to claim to other entities on behalf of other associations. The two big companies integrated, ending up the biggest company in the country. The two big companies integrated, becoming the biggest company in the country. The CEO of the company did know that it is impossible to integrate the way of thinking of all of the employees, so he didn't try to integrate the way of thinking. But the CEO made the employees have the same purpose instead. The CEO of the company did know that it is impossible to integrate the way of thinking of all of the employees, but he made all of the employees have the same purpose, which succeeded in the business. If you wait for you to become the integrate, it won't come forever, because we are never perfect. What is integrate? This is the integrate example of drunk driving. The car accident is a perfect example of the drunk driving. The car accident is the integrate example of drunk driving. Integrate. The car accident is the integrate example of drunk driving. The car accident is an integrate example of of the drunk driving. The car accident is an integrate example, outcome of drunk driving. The car accident is an integrate outcome of drunk driving. The car accident is an integrate outcome of drunk driving. The car accident is an integrate outcome of drunk driving. Integrate. It is your integrate mistake. It is your integrate mistake. The project was an integrate failure. The project was an integrate success. The project ended in an integrate success. The project ended in an integrate failure. 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 The project ended up an integrate failure. The project ended up an integrate failure. The project ended up an integrate failure. Integrate. The car accident is an integrate example of drunk driving. The car accident is an integrate outcome of drunk driving. Integrate. If you wait for you to become an integrate, it won't come forever, because we never integrate. We can never be never a perfect. We can be never an integrate. We can be never integrate. We can be never integrate. We can be never integrate. Integrate. The car accident is an integrate outcome of drunk driving. Integrate appearance of Super Saiyan. Integrate appearance of Super Saiyan. Integration of a few websites of the company might be needed because the customers often find it difficult, find it confusing to find the website they are looking for. The company needs the integration of the websites because there are 3 or 4 different websites and customers are difficult in finding them. The company might need to the integration of 3 or 4 websites they have because the customers having difficulty in finding it. Integration. The integration of the 2 big companies made us surprised. Took us by surprise. Surprised us. Our currency might be integrated into one in the future. Integration. The integration of the two parking lots by removing the fence was a good idea. The integration of the two parking lots, which used to be separated by the fence, was a good idea. The two different departments were integrated. The integration of the two different departments made it more efficient. Made it more efficient to produce the products. In many schools in Japan, the school uniforms are integrated. In many schools in Japan, the dress code is integrated. The school uniforms are integrated. In many schools in Japan, the school uniforms are integrated. The two big companies integrated a few years ago. Integrated, 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 integrated. All of the executives have the integrated way of thinking. All of the executives in the company have the same integrated thoughts. All of the executives in the company have the same integrated thoughts. Integrated thoughts. All of the hotel rooms have the integrated layout. All of the hotel rooms have the integrated layouts. All of the rooms of the apartment have the same integrated layouts. All of the rooms in the apartment have the same integrated layouts. All of the rooms in the apartment have the same integrated layout.